everyone, I'm Denise Love and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to experiment with this texture paste that's graphite. So I thought I would do some graphite painting, just some abstract painting, and then do some stencil on top of that. In my mind I want to do maybe some type of mandala stencil, so we'll see. That's kind of what I'm thinking today. So I've got out my set of 6 of the Gansai Tambi graphite paints by Kuretake. I went through quite a long period of time when these were my very favorite paints to use. And I've not played with them in a while, so I'm kind of excited to get them back out. I've got my Princeton Quill number 4 brush. And I've got 2 pieces of the Hanaule paper taped down. I've just cut a piece of the 9x12 in half. So that's my paper that I've got down. I like working with cotton papers just because that's my own preference, and I buy them when they're on sale and I stock up. So I do not wet the paper before I start. For some reason, even though I've got it taped down and you can't see any water on it, somebody always asks me, is that paper wet? Nope, that paper is dry. I haven't done anything besides tape it down before I've started. So I'm kind of feeling like perhaps we'll do this kind of blue-green combo. Kind of like this purple, I don't know. Kind of feeling blue-green today. Or we could do 2 different colors. I could do blue-green on one, and the second one could be another color. I kind of like sometimes doing things in a way that you've got a pair, but when you're experimenting, you know, you could play and do different things and just see like what do you think you're going to end up loving when you're done. And I hold the brush a lot of times when I'm doing stuff like this very loose. I roll the brush around. I'm not holding it up here like you do when you want real precise stuff. I do not want anything precise. I want to play. I want to experiment. I want it to be imprecise and just crazy. And I don't want to be able to control the marks. I want to have some fun and let it kind of do its own thing. And while I'm thinking about this, while I've got this going, I also might want to come in here with some graphite. So I've got my 14B, it's my favorite pencil, my Pitt matte graphite, and I could go ahead and do some mark making. Just kind of get that in there. And I'm doing it kind of light, so even though this is my 14B pencil, I am going kind of light here just to, because why not? So very light. I'm holding it way back. I want imprecise. I just want there to be something underneath, because why not? Be brave. All right, let's get this blue. These are so smoky and beautiful. I mean, look at that. So this is kind of a smoky grungy set is what it is. I'm feeling smoky and grungy today. I know you're feeling me too. Okay, I'm kind of liking that. So do we want another pair similar, or do I want it to be completely different? Yeah, let's go different. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Because we got 6 colors here, we can kind of fill out with some of this other color. You know, a lot of the times when I'm creating, especially abstracts like this, I don't start in the middle and work my way out. I start on the edges and work my way in. It's my own personal preference there. So you kind of get like what you want to do and how you want to start it, and you go that way. But I like working my way in. So what color do we want to throw in there with that? Do we want to throw this graphite yellow? Yeah, let's do it. Be brave. Just ride the wave when you think, do I want to do this? Put your brush down and just try it. You know, it's just paint. If we don't like it, we could start a whole nother piece. Ooh, you know what we could do? We could come over here and just tap some water in, and we could get some texture going. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Get some blooms in there. Why not? Alright, so I'm really kind of loving and digging the way this is going. I'm feeling purple. So I did kind of avoid the blues and the greens, but you know, this yellow, purple, blue is kind of speaking to me. What do you think? Alright, and I do want some maybe marks showing underneath. I could go dark, you know, we could go ahead and press a little harder. Just playing around. Alright, so I'm going to need to let this dry, and then we can do some other stuff on top, but I am kind of feeling, I liked that whole little bit like that. Ooh, I liked that. Just getting some marks and things in there with some graphite because I want them. You don't have to do that if you don't like it. Do what you like to do. Whichever is your favorite thing, do more of that. Alright, let's let this dry and I'll be right back. Alright, I've let this dry for a while, and I don't know if this is going to work out or not. This might be the one you never see. But I have some Mandala stencils. I'll link them below the video. But I have some Mandala stencils. I just searched Mandala stencil on Amazon and found these. And in my mind, I'm thinking I want, you know, the stencil, the mandala part on top of the graphite stuff that I did, and it might not turn out. And when I tried some stencil butter in my art haul that I did where I got the stencil butters and the paste, it didn't work out quite like I wanted. And so if you have your secrets of how you like to use stencil butter, feel free to tell us in the comments. I'm using texture paste, which is a graphite texture paste. I will link it below. And it's basically graphite in thicker stuff. So I'm thinking if you had graphite powder, you could probably make your own graphite paste. And I'm almost thinking I put the others on with a you know, a palette knife. And I could put this on with a palette knife, but when I did that, it squeezed up under on some of the stuff that I was doing. So I thought maybe we could try one with a palette knife and one with a sponge, and let's just see. Is it going to work out? So I'm going to put one of these on with a sponge, and I'm going to layer it kind of thick, and we'll just see like which one works. This is our moment to experiment to see how do we like using this, because I'm almost thinking too that you might have to use like a temporary, say like spray adhesive on something like this and get that stencil stuck down perhaps. I don't know. I'll have to investigate. What's your favorite way? How do you get these to work out when you're using stencils and some type of stencil paste? What's your secrets? If you've got a way that you love to do this, tell us. Tell us in the comments what your secrets are. And then I might try that the next time. And this might just be one dark gray blob when we're done. Again, this is how we learn how this stuff works and what we end up with. You might like a light base with something dark and grungy on it. I might have liked this to be light gray with dark gray on top of it. I'm just playing. Alright, so I wonder what we got. Okay, so that was with a sponge. This will be with a palette knife. Now this stuff is, well, don't put your hand down on it. This stuff is, and we've got some that are still stuck in here. Hang on. This is thicker than the stencil butter, I notice. So it's more like the molding paste. Because I think you could take molding paste and you could probably put graphite powder in the molding paste, make your own nice thick paste yourself if you don't have access to the pre-made one, or you don't want to buy the pre-made one. Either way. See, I can see how it would benefit if we could stick all these little pieces down. Is there a magical temporary stencil glue? I'm going to have to research that, because to be honest, most of the time when I've used stencils, I have put it down with my sponge and it's done fine. But these little pieces, they're moving around. And I can see how getting them really down good would be beneficial. And I could just do gray paint or whatever paint it is I wanted to do, but I wanted to play with this stuff and try it out. This stuff's not as wet as stencil paste. I mean, a stencil butter. The stencil butter was very wet. This stuff is drier than that. And molding paste is drier than that too. It's more dry, which I think is why I've never looked into any type of how we can get that stencil to kind of stay down long enough to do something with it, because I never needed it. That stencil butter bled right under it though, like a real thin paint. Ooh, this is a pretty stencil though. Because in my mind, I'd like a collection of something with the 3D element on it, with lots of pretty intricate design. I think it'd be pretty to have a collection of that. Okay, so there's that. You will have to give dry time to anything you do with a stencil, but we could at least lift it and see what it looks like and see if it's a total dud. All right, here's the defining. What are we gonna get? Roar! Look at that. Okay, wow. Both of those have ended up good. I do think that this is thicker, so we can tell which one I've got like super thick. But if you don't, if the palette knife way isn't working for you, this turned out super cool too. So it did work really well with just a sponge. This one's a lot thinner. I can see areas kind of bleed through, which I kind of like. This one's a lot thicker, so it's very defined what's on top of there. And I'm kind of loving that. So we need to let that dry, and then you can decide, is there anything else that you want to do to this piece, or did you do enough? Really, the stencil in my mind needs to be last, and I feel like it's last for me. I'm going to rub my fingers on a microfiber cloth so that hopefully I don't get the paper dirty. See if I can get most of whatever's on my fingers off without having to go wash my hands. This is why I love this Hahnemühle paper, because tape just peels right off of it. I love it. All right, let's just see what we got. Did it end up, because you can always add to the pieces after you peel tape too. Maybe at this point we need to evaluate and you're thinking, what did I get? And because it's a paste, it's not a real thin paint. It's still wet, but we should be able to peel the tape just fine. All right, peeling the tape is magic. Makes a piece look finished. All right. Oh, look at that. Look at that one. Okay. I would say this is a success. Look how pretty that is. Now that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a finished piece with some 3D kind of element on it. If you wanted it bolder to stand out even more, I could have done light colors, but can't you see this as, say, a really big piece of art on a piece of canvas even, with the colors and the beautiful mandala decorations on it? That is a win for other projects that I might want to do. Look how beautiful those turned out. And I like both colorways, so gorgeous. All right, so I hope you enjoyed exploring with me today. I do think that I'm going to leave these here instead of adding anything more to it, because I like the elements underneath, the blooming, the color changes, the few marks that I can see, and then boom, that pattern on top of it. Gorgeous. So I do think I'm really happy with how these turned out, and that was fun playing with the graphite texture paste. Fun. All right, can't wait to see what you're working on. Feel free to tag me at Two Little Owls Art on Instagram. I will say I'm getting weird DMs on Instagram of things that don't pertain to art, religious stuff and random stuff. So the DMs are mostly turned off, so Don't DM stuff. But definitely tag me if you post something publicly on Instagram. I'd love to see that. And I can't wait to see what you're working on. I also have a Facebook group for art people if you want to check that link out below. And I'll see you next time.